to the Building the Best You show. As you know, I am your root coach, and we are here about to talk about something that I think that everybody wants to know about, right? The single, the divorce, the thinking about it, and the married. Y'all know it is time to talk about marriage. I mean, we're going to talk about everything. You see that I have my lovely guest right over here, and I have Mr. Tony Lewis, who is over here. I have his beautiful wife, Miss Jessica Lewis, who's over here, and we got the kiddos too. I want to thank you guys for welcoming me into your home on today. I think that what we're going to talk about today is going to change lives. It's going to bless people. It's going to change minds. It's going to change the trajectory of people's life. So we're going to talk real on today, okay? We're going to talk like we brothers and sisters sitting in the house chilling, you know, talking about some real things, because, you know, the Building the Best You show is about, you know, us sharing our journeys of trials and triumphs to help the next person to be healed and successful, right? So I thank you guys for just opening up your hearts and opening up your homes to help somebody else's life go to the next level. So you guys, leave your comments below. I mean, ask whatever you want to ask, questions that you've been wanting to ask, being that single individual, questions you've been wondering about, even if you are divorced, trying to figure out, you know, why did this happen? You know, how can I build the best me now, you know, since these things have, you know, happened to me. So I'm definitely excited about this. Don't forget, you guys, go to www.IamSha'MecaLatai.com. Follow me, figure out what's going on, what's in the news, what's going on, how can you build the best you. As you see, you guys, I'm super excited about tonight because y'all don't know who I'm sitting next to, okay? We are in the D.C. area, the heart of D.C., the heart of D.C., where so many things are being created, so many things are being built. People who are ready are here. They want to change. And let me just turn it over. Let's get to this whole thing right here. So I'm next to Mr. Tony Lewis. Mr. Tony Lewis is an activist. He is an author, and you are a re-entry expert.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to talk about Jessica too at the same time.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm from Washington, D.C. I've been working in the community for about 17 years, 18 years now. It's a new year, right? So,
yeah.
And the bulk of my work has been around mass incarceration, those impacted by mass incarceration. So whether it's men and women who's been in prison before, helping children with incarcerated parents, doing things to address gun violence and homelessness and addiction and all of the above, just trying to help people sort of reestablish themselves and find their best self. You know, so I've been that for people. And I wrote a book called Slug, A Boy's Life in the Age of Mass Incarceration, which is my memoir, and really kind of charting my course and my path through a lot of things that I think young black men all across this country deal with. So I wanted to create sort of a map or blueprint for them, something that's not just my story but theirs as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of a synopsis of who I am. But more importantly, I'm a husband and a father of 2 girls. You know.
Exactly. See, he couldn't leave. That's what I'm talking about. See, we're here. We're talking to, you know, just a real man. After all of this that he has explained that he is, like, he's like, I'm a family man. Yeah. I take care of my kids. I take care of my wife. I am the protector of my household, and this is what I do. After all of that, this is what I do. And I really think, you know, you're a little humble, very humble. I can see that. Yeah. But I've been, you know, I came to your turkey drive.
Yeah.
And you have people who look up to you, you know, and he's sitting here very humble right now. I mean, but they love Mr. Tony Lewis. Yeah. Everybody wants to take pictures. Everybody's, yeah. Everybody wants to, I mean, people came in with their cell phones, making sure that your voice was heard on their social media networks.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do. I mean, you know, it's kind of, I'm not the kind of guy who like I'm this, I'm that, you know. But I will say that I've been able to touch a lot of lives, you know. But at the same time, I always look at it like people have touched my life as well. Every interaction adds value and adds something to me. You know, I've been someone though that has been able to have a lot of influence locally and nationally. Mm-hmm. You know, I won national awards and a lot of local awards for my community activity. Yeah. You know, down to, you know, being, you know, on a lot of national platforms and, you know, names in song and, you know, a lot of things, you know. But to me, none of that stuff is as important as just my day-to-day work and working with my people and trying to help my people get back on track, you know. Right. So I appreciate the compliment of me being humble, and I try to be. Humility is very important to me because, you know, my life, I'm really not supposed to be here if you just looked at like where we come from and what I've been through and stuff like that. So I don't take that for granted. Right. So I definitely don't take, you know, just, hey, look at me. It's just like I'm blessed. You know what I mean? I've been real lucky. And so, you know, every day I know my role and my purpose is to help people, you know, also take steps that I've taken, you know, again, to be the best person that they can be.
Wow, you definitely just blessed me, because I love to see individuals who are impacting other individuals, because those individuals impact communities, you know, and they build communities and they build families, exactly what you're doing right here with your family. So now I want to talk to your lovely wife, Miss Jessica Lewis. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hey, touch my hand, okay?
All
okay.
right.
We know all about it. We're moms. We're wives. You know, we're superwoman. Yeah. She does it all, but she does it good, and she does it the way it's supposed to get done.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes.
So, Miss Jessica, tell us who you are, what you do, what you're all about.
All right. Well, I am not from D.C., but I am from Maryland, from Silver Spring, born and raised. But now I am a Washingtonian by marriage. So.
Let's still give it up. We might have some Silver Springs. Yes. If y'all from Silver Springs, give it up, give it up.
But I've been working, I work full time in real estate, commercial real estate company. I've been there almost about 10 years now. But about 6 years ago, I started my own catering company. So I do that on the side, and then obviously also a wife and a mother, 24/7 job, and also assistant, encourager.
Build him, girl.
Yes. You know, gotta make sure, his manager, make sure he's on top of everything, because he just has.
Don't let nobody else handle his money.
At all.
Our
money.
Right. Our money, right. His money, our money, your money. Yes, we do it together. Yes.
Just try and take care of all of that, do what I can.
Wait a minute, so you're a little humble too, because we're going to get back. So, because people need to know, like, you guys are making moves out here, right? You're working, you're in your business for over 10 years, you're doing real estate. I mean, that's an area where a lot of people are getting in, wanting to get into, and you're doing it. So you're definitely showing people that you can do this. You can be a mom, you can be a wife, and you can be into your business, right? And taking care of business. But you are also a CEO. Of what it's simply Delicioso, right? Or
Deliciosa, yes.
Deliciosa.
Yes.
Okay. I got it good.
You got it.
So let's talk about this. Like, what is this company that you're doing? What is so simply delicious, you know, about what you do?
Yeah, so I come from Brazilian background. My mother is from Brazil, so that's where the name kind of spinned off from, to say simply delicious. So I started originally with my mother, and we just kind of I have always been into event planning, putting on parties, into details. So my mother is an amazing cook. And finally I said, let me try to see what I can do. And then I was like, oh, I love to cook. So over the years, it's where I can show my creative side and kind of just have my me time, just my peace of mind. And then I love to, almost like him, serve people and just make sure I'm putting a smile on people's faces, and customer service is always like my #1 priority when I'm dealing with people. So it's just something that I've done over the years, and I love to do it. I try to find as much time as I can, but you know, gotta also still work full time, pay the bills, and take care of the kids, school, and all that stuff. So it's a lot, but it's something that I love to do. So I try to dedicate as much time as I can, obviously with the help from my husband, to take care of home when I'm in the kitchen for hours at a, you know, at a.
This is so good. This is so good, because this is exactly what the show is about. You know, we're talking about building businesses and balancing marriage at the same time. And it seems like you guys have got this thing together. You maybe over the years, we're going to talk about, maybe you have to tweak some things to figure out who likes what, how we're going to do this, but you're making it work. You know, and that's really, really important. And that's a great foundation that you guys are definitely setting and showing for your kids also, because you guys have what, two girls, two beautiful girls, might I ask, okay, with personality.
Very much
I can already tell that these young ladies, they know who they are already, right? Because probably their parents already know who they are. That's really, really important. So let's talk about that. Like, how do you balance your businesses, right? And then also balance marriage. How do you keep your marriage grounded and keep your husband happy and keep your wife happy?
Communication. I think that is always something that we've discussed in the past, and even now we are very, very good at communicating with each other. And that's something I've always appreciated, because it's not something I've always had in past relationships, where I have someone honestly tell me what they need to say, and I can do the same, and it's not always an argument. It's more so, okay, where do we go from here? And it's just a maturity, I think, that comes with that, wanting the same outcome for our families. So we know that the only way to get there is to communicate with each other. So I think that's the #1 important factor.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's good.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. And I think also just kind of like keeping, you know, a lot of people in business or whatever, like, you know, people are very ambitious, right? And you know, through ambition, sometimes I think you can become selfish. So I think it's important to kind of keep your family as the motivator for all these different business quests or opportunities that you're trying to create. You know what I mean? Keep your family in focus. It's like, this is why I'm doing it. I ain't doing it for me or for prestige or whatever. I'm doing it so that we can have, you know, more resources for our family.
Right.
I mean, I think that's helped. And the communication thing, obviously, though, I think is definitely paramount, though.
Yeah.
So did you guys ever struggle? Even though you're like, we need to communicate, were there ever struggles?
We still do.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I know that, you know, because I can get busy. It'd be a lot going on, you know, and sometimes she just got to say, hey, you know, listen, it's too much. Like, or you've been out, you know, after we've been out like 4 days in a row. Like, I need you here. Like, and I got to be open to that. And I might be like, but listen, I'm doing it because I'm trying to this and this. But you got to, again, that's why you got to kind of like understand what's important, though.
Right.
Like, I don't want to wake up one day and my marriage, me and my wife are disconnected, or my children are 15.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what happened to the last, you know, where did the years go? Because it can happen.
Yeah.
Particularly, you know, how my thing go, you know, it can happen that way. And that's why I always got to kind of like, again, like keep myself in check that way. And she keep me in check.
But what got you to that place, though? You know, I know personally that, and you guys probably know this too, I think a lot of people know this, like, a lot of marriages fail because of the lack of communication.
Absolutely.
But I think that it fails also because of the lack of heart for the marriage. If you kind of feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, your heart has to be somewhere to even want to communicate.
Yeah.
You know, like, you could have married Tony and he could have had a problem with communicating, but he wanted a marriage. He want his marriage, and he knowing that's his struggle, so he's willing to open up. He's willing to break barriers or something. Not saying that that's you. I'm just saying just that man there. Like, you have to want it.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. But I think that's why right now where we are, it's working, because we both, like I said, we both want it.
Yes.
We both are open with each other to explain that we want it, or even show that we want it. And we do things on our own to prove it to each other without it even needing to be asked.
So you guys are intentional about making your marriage work.
I think you have to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And maybe some reasons why other relationships might have that problem is because if you're not on the same page, that's where things are just not going to work. And so I think we all have a little bit of selfishness in us, but I try to look at the things that he wants to do for himself, and I don't want to ever hold him back from those things, and vice versa.
Right.
So I try to support him as much as I can in his own ventures, but then when I do need him, and
Come on.
I'm going to say it, I need you right now.
Yes.
And he knows that. I'm only going to ask that
Yes.
if I really, really mean it.
And that's so key. I definitely was talking to, a girlfriend the other day, and no, actually really talking to a group of women, like, you have to say. You have to say it, regardless if you think he's going to understand or she's going to understand.
Yeah. And I think women, we naturally are always kind of, like I said, superwoman, and we always are putting all of the barriers on ourselves to make things work, because I just think it's in a woman's nature to just appease everybody, take care of everything. It'll get done. I know it'll get done. I have this routine, this structure, whatever.
Right.
And sometimes we can't do it all. And instead of breaking, you have to ask for help or vocalize where, you need your partner to come into play and be a partner, and just and explain those things. But also, they might need the same from you, and you just got to be able to, I don't know, just help each other. But you have to, I think it all goes back to the communication part of it. Like,
so do you think, have you guys ever been to a place where you were trying to get either one of you guys to like understand your feelings or understand where you're at, and it wasn't like received? Like, how did you like deal with that, and how did you get over that?
Yeah, I think you gotta keep talking. We definitely had times when I know I felt like, man, you ain't understanding like what I'm going through or what I'm trying to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I could be a dreamer, or sometimes it's like we're different in that way. Like she work in corporate real estate. She an analyst. She got to see it. Yeah. Right? She got to see like everything though. Well, I don't have to see everything. It's like I just know that's where we trying to get.
Let's go.
And we're going to get there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we clash around that, cuz even she might ask a question like, and I take the question like you doubting my vision.
Oh, that's
and it
good.
may not be there, but it took me a while to learn. Just another thing, you gotta learn who you
Wait a
with.
minute. I think Tony is preaching right now.
Like you do, you gotta learn who you with. You gotta know your spouse, because it's like, we're all of us, we're different. We come from different backgrounds. We look at life differently. And so when you with somebody, you have to be able to understand them enough. Because again, you can misinterpret certain things where they just trying to figure out the details so that they can help you, but you looking at it like you don't believe in me. So, and then it's also about, I think too, if you've been in a situation before, we all bring our past with us. So if you've been in a situation where you were with somebody who didn't necessarily believe in your vision, or could you like, is that happening again?
Triggers.
So you kind and you hypersensitive to that kind of stuff. Sure. You know what I mean? So so we've definitely had that.
I think you just saved like a couple of marriages. How many out there was just like, you know what, that was me. My wife is not my opponent. Like my wife is my teammate. Yeah. Like it's okay, because we have to know that we're, she's balancing me. As we're talking, like she balances me. Like sometimes you need that little check right there. You need somebody to say something to be like, oh, okay, maybe I need to sit back. I need to think about
and
that
this. Never feels good too. Like when we're challenged, right? In any way, right? Especially initially, that it never feels good. But that means you growing. So sometimes a little friction is good. Like that, I think people look at relationships as if like either it's like perfect or it's in shambles, and it's like I don't believe in that. I believe that we're human beings, so there's no such thing as like every day is cool, but also every argument or disagreement doesn't have to be like catastrophic either. Because I mean, we've been together for about almost 7 years at this point, and she make me. I get mad as hell. I get mad. You know what I'm saying? She get mad.
I do
too. Yeah, but I don't. Right.
But
I don't know. I don't know how we don't curry it though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We get upset and we discuss it. If we need to take a breather from each other, we take a breather, and then we keep it moving.
Exactly. I know, like with my husband, sometimes I'm like, I know I've made him upset, and I'm upset, and I'll just try to break it. I'm like, let me try this, and I'll go up and kiss him. He was like, it ain't time yet, but I'm like, I knew I broke something. You know, like I'm just like, maybe it'll work, because I know that it's worth more for me to get outside of my comfort zone, to get outside of my anger, because I love him regardless. And I'm just waiting for us to get over this. You know, this thing, because I'm like, it has to work. And even saying that, like, so we talked a little bit before camera. So you're the extrovert and she's the introvert, you know, and that's how me and my husband is or whatever. But you guys definitely complement, you know, each other. But how do you, I'm going to ask you that, Jessica, how do you find your place with this dreamer that's next to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I'm still learning. But like I said, like, I'm his partner, and I learned that he's bringing things out of me. And, you know, for example, when we're out, I mean, this man knows maybe.
Come on.
No, he literally knows maybe like 10,000 people by name. You know, so with that, it's, and me, I'm not used to meeting so many people, I think, and so, but I just know I have to, you know, I'm his wife and his partner, and it's just me being able to put myself in his element, because he talks to everybody, like no matter where he met them from. He could have met them once, and you're gonna feel like you've known him for your entire life. And so I kind of just had to adapt into his environment, and I still try to, but
so do you think that when you're around him that people have an expectation for you to be a certain type of way?
I don't know.
I mean, I can't answer. Right. You know, I think what happens though is that, you know, I think people, they project, you know, they think when they meet her that they meet like you, or
the female version of you.
And it's like, you know, I have had conversations about that before. You know what I mean? Or I think too, like with social media as well. I think people they feel like they know her.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But that's my wife. She's not me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I can meet, like she said, I meet somebody and I'm like, just like, because I know that's what people, not just what people expect of me, but that's in my personality, right? And not to say Jess is never rude to anybody, it's not about that, but she just would be like, how could she, to her, she's like, I don't really know you, so I'm not going to be like, you know, like, hey, what's up? Like, I don't really,
I need my space.
Sure.
Right?
So I think that's
But I seen you in action. You know, when I was at the Thanksgiving, and then it was time to take a picture, and you like, no, you know. And Tony's like, come on, babe. You know, like, he gives that look, and she's like, no. But which is beautiful, though, because it's like, I honor him. You know, I'm here, and I'm here to support him, and I got him, but let me chill. You know, but I'm going to keep everything together. You know, and that's really, really good. So you allow him to be himself, and then at the same time, you allow her to be who she is, too. So,
and who I need her to be.
Exactly.
You know, because I mean, a lot of that too is important. That helps. I mean, she can see the things that I can't see. You know what I mean? In that way.
That's good.
By not necessarily being all kind of, you know, in everything, but being able to kind of like be able to take a step back and make sure everything is kind of moving in the way it should, or bringing things to me, you know, later that I didn't see. And you know, again, it's a benefit in that way. You know?
Good. That's really, really good. That's really, really good. So, like, let's talk about this, because marriages are struggling with infidelity. There's, you know, in that area, or you guys are going out and it's a lot of females or it's a lot of guys around. Like, how do you guys deal with that? Like, what goes on in your head, and what goes on in Jessica's head? Because I'm pretty sure if he knows 10,000 people, half of those are women. Okay, half of those are waiting for the marriage to break up. You know, you know, people are, honey.
I'm aware.
They are. Okay, let me tell you. So somebody inboxed my husband. They seeing all the good stuff that's going on, right? Like, if I would have known back then, like,
right.
you know. And then my husband, he's like, yeah, you know, now I'm on, now you're all up on me, whatever the song is on.
Right.
So it pumps up his ego, which is fine with me, because I'm cool. Like, I want somebody to look at my husband and be like, oh, yeah, he, you know, I like that, you know, at the same time. I'm like, oh, yeah. Because, you know, when you're out of the dating world, so you're not doing that no more. So I date my husband, right? I date him, and I'm like, oh, she just, all right, so I do got something good. Okay, thank you, girl. You know, but you know who's coming home. You guys know who you are. So how do we deal with that? Like, what goes on in the head?
So I'm gonna take this one.
Come on, girl.
No, but the one thing I can say, yes, I know that I have an amazing husband. And people tell me that all the time. He is so great. And I'm like, yes, he is. But the one thing I can appreciate, which sometimes is a kind of a catch-22, is that he's so in the limelight. He's so well known. But with that, he takes our family, he shows our marriage off, and he shows how much he loves me to everybody, whether it's social media, whether we're out. And so I can only take that as I trust my husband, and I know that he loves me, he loves our family, he would never do anything to jeopardize that. So I can only be good, and trust me, I've been in situations where that's not happening. Exactly. So I respect that he respects our marriage, and people come, but you know what, people do come up to me and they're like, hey, Mrs. Lou, like girls who I'm always like, I feel like he was checking him out, but then they come to me with all the love in the world, and they were like, oh my God, y'all are amazing, y'all are, you know, what we're striving for. So it's just a great thing. And then I also try to, again, give positive energy to people, so it's not like a, oh, I can't wait for him to leave her type thing, because it's like, nah, like this is all love, and we want y'all to love what we have and find that for yourselves. You're not taking mine. Exactly. But, you know, know, I just feel like just giving positive, respectful energy to people is what you're going to then receive back, I would hope. So.
Yeah, but, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's a lot of, you know, people in the world, you know what I mean, that may not have the best intentions. I just try to, like, you know, to always, you know, make sure my wife know, like, my wife, I chose to marry you, and I chose to marry you for a reason. Like, I didn't, you know what I mean? I value what you are and who you are. And with that, you know, but that's a temptation is always out there in the world, you know what I mean? Rather I was, you know, who I am, or if I was a janitor, you know what I mean? Right. And it, you know, but you just gotta kind of, again, value and be focused though. Like, if you focused on who you are, what you want. Right. And again, I ain't never, and we early in marriage, right? We've been married almost 3 years. Right. But I really, you know, I hear people talk about marriage like a weight, and I ain't felt that. I don't feel like tied down, or like, you know, I think, you know, I'm like, boo, I'm going out. And I know it's probably harder on her end, and I know dudes be checking for her, but I'm saying I know it's harder because I'm in the limelight. She can, you know, people. I gotta communicate with women, you know, in terms of people may comment on my, you know, whatever. But she do a great job. I don't be feeling no like jealous vibe and all. So all of that kind of stuff, it helps. You know what I mean? Right. And again, I'm transparent about mine. I ain't, you know, if you know, we out, I'm introduced. Like, I've even done that before. Like, that's another thing. I think I'm 37 now. You know what I'm saying? I think I matured a lot. I remember having girlfriends, and like, you know, it might be a girl that I like a little bit, you know what I'm saying, you know, or used to deal with, and I might not be in the same room. I might not introduce my girl. You know, guys, we do dumb stuff like that. Like, that make it worse. But anyway, but not. It's like you grow from that though, and you learn, like, you know what, you know what I'm saying. But like, people, I hear more from women. Like, women be like, yo, I really. Like, I had women, for real, they be like, yo, I really, really, really wish somebody treated me like, you know, like you treat your wife. Or this, but I'm just saying, people do say that. They said it to you. You just saying that. Yeah. You know, oh, but I didn't even have dudes say that, though. I wish I had a wife like you. You know, might post my meals or they be like, Slim, you got, I wish my girl don't cook. So it's not just, you know, one
what?
way.
You know, let's talk about that.
Be checking for
People
her.
might say that, and I wish, but if you don't know how to treat her and you don't know how to value her, you're not even gonna see the meal she cooks.
Yeah,
you're not even
gotta
gonna
bring that out. Advice, I agree with that though, and that's the thing. I think that's kind of what Jess was saying earlier. Like, you find yourself when you happy, right, and you with somebody you know in your corner, it make you want to do whatever you feel like you got to do to make that person happy. If y'all both doing that, and that don't come without issues, but what it does is y'all whatever happens, you able to get it back centered.
Let's talk. You guys gotta want it. Like, if you're in a marriage and you're balancing business or whatever it is in life, like you have to know how to balance your marriage. Like, you have to know how to. You gotta have self-control. You gotta come in there with a hard discipline that you want you want this thing to work.
But you know what? And sorry not to cut you, but I think too, right? What's important before all of that, or what's gonna always make sure you got a certain level of balance, is like when y'all got a similar value system. Like, you can be different culturally or whatever, but if you got the same values, man, it's something that anchors the relationship. You know what I mean? And you gotta set parameters as well, like around where the parameters are gonna be based on those core values of your relationship. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's important, because that, to me, that serves as like a force field in terms of, it makes you be more disciplined. It makes you be able to, you know, navigate through various temptations. And temptations don't always come in the form of like other people. It could come in the form of some vice, whether it's drinking or gambling or you know, spending money, whatever it may be.
Right.
But when the value, like, I can't step outside of this. You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, that's what has really been our strongest asset as a couple.
Yeah.
Having a similar value system.
Yeah, because I think, you know, there's a lot of things that I definitely wasn't going for in a regular relationship. So getting married, I'm like, I didn't want it. Like me, I do certain things, but when I talk to my husband about it, when he understands that, like, I don't like certain things, he won't do it. Not because he doesn't necessarily like it, it's because he honors, you know, and I think that's what you're saying. Like, I honor Jess, you know, I honor what she does, and she honor, you know, what I do and the things that I like at the same time, which is very, very important, because you begin to know how to compromise, you know, you know how to build her. And then she knows how to build you, and it's like, it's good. It's good. That's really, really good. So, 2 years. That's good. So you guys said you were 3 years.
Almost 3.
Almost 3 years.
Gotta round it up.
But look, let's talk about this, because some people don't make it past year 1.
I know.
Like, was year 1 tough for you guys?
You know what? We literally just had this conversation yesterday with some
Y'all
friends.
did? Okay.
With some friends, though, we were just really saying, and I felt a little, not bad, but I mean, knock on wood or whatever, but like, from my perspective, like, I mean, again, it ain't nothing perfect, but I ain't really looking like, it ain't been no sustained rough patches. Like, it been a little kind of, you know, things, but we've been able to we've been lucky so far.
Yeah,
you know
I agree. And I think also, I mean, we got married. Yes, that's a big change, but I feel like we kind of were playing house. We already had our, I mean, it's true. We already had our first daughter. We lived together, and we kind of were already, in a sense, acting as if we were married. We were, you know, faithful to each other and, you know, around each other all the time, best friends. And so I don't think really anything changed in that first year. To be honest with you, I think probably one of the roughest times was when we had our first child, because it's just, that was a change in and learning how to become parents for the first time and all that. So that might have been a little bit of a strain.
Right.
But after we got, you know, that down, and then the second baby, it's like, oh, okay, we know what we're doing here. So, but other than that, I think our first year went great, because we definitely were both kind of warned of how it could be difficult, but I don't think we really faced anything
and
too
that's
bad,
just
luckily.
real though, and I ain't even trying to sound like our joint been like.
No, I would say.
But yeah, it really wasn't. I ain't feel no huge, you know, transition or like, you know, it just wasn't that different from what we was doing before that, or anything that changed was like changed for like the better for real. You know, but I think what happened, we got married in late April. We moved into, you know, my childhood home. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother, you know, we got the house redone, moved in, you know what I'm saying, in May the next month.
Literally a month later.
You know what I'm saying? And it just was like, you know, then we lost my grandmother like 6 months after that. You know, it was just, and then we got pregnant.
Y'all were having milestones
like,
you
know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a lot of stuff, but it's like through it all, you know, we just been kind of like, you know, moving, and I just professionally, both of us, a lot of things have happened, promotions, and then, you know, just a lot of stuff, you know, and I think maybe though one of the things that's helped, because we had so much going on, you know, it's like it always puts us in a position where we got to lean on each other, right? And I think that helps. You know what I mean? Because it's like
y'all got to know each other.
Yeah, and we got to be always like in the kind of that teammate.
Yeah, definitely.
That teammate phase, like I need you. And I think for some, because I think that always solidifies our role in each other's life, because it's like I can't do life without her. Like I'm very clear on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I have
I think you just made some people cry just by saying that, because I believe that women, you agree, like they're looking for that.
Oh yeah.
Like being single, you know, when we were, you want somebody to care about you. I think because we are natural nurturers.
Exactly.
You know, we already know how to care. We already are ready to be a wife to somebody.
Yes.
You know, and so like you just made some people like, dog, Coney, like where are the rest? You know, but it probably wasn't always like that though, and that's what people need to know. Like
that's what I'm saying.
You
Some
don't
women gotta be patient. Though.
You gotta be patient, and I think also as women. I think like you touched on it, like we just want to we want to be married, we want to love, but it's like you can't just do that to anybody. It got to be the right person for you. You can be a great wife, but you got to find your match. You got to
putting
find
your pearls in swine.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, did you? Because I know she always wanted to get married. You feel me? I would never get married. Did you accept I wasn't gonna marry you though?
You told me that, and I knew that. I knew that I didn't believe you. I knew that.
I was serious though.
I know you were, but I don't think I pressured you into marriage at all.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't think you knew you couldn't. Right.
I knew I didn't want to.
Your father.
I knew.
She was putting her parents. We be just randomly.
I had nothing to do with that.
Like, hey. You
I had nothing to do with that.
My people in my family like, you gonna get. I used to be like really like unequipped, like no.
Yeah.
Because I mean it wasn't that. But I knew she wanted to get married, but I knew you knew that.
I didn't want to force you. I didn't want to try to.
Would you have been okay with not just staying with him, having his kids, living with him, and he never proposed to you or married you?
Not like years later, no. But I think the conversation had been had. I mean, I love you no matter what. I wouldn't have really gone nowhere, but I think he sees the importance of even like technicality, like on paper, like what that means for me to be your wife. Because if I'm not,
come on, girl, wait a minute. I hear that whole I add value to you. You would have been missing out. You wouldn't be who you are today. Let's get on today. If you wouldn't have,
but I wanted him to get there. He did tell me like I'm not getting married. I'm like, oh, okay, like. We'll see, you know. Right. But I wanted him to get there when he was ready. I always knew.
So you weren't trying to change him.
I wasn't trying to change him at all. I just wanted to continue. I just knew what I had, and I didn't want to ever risk losing that. So I was good. Like I really never really brought it up to him. Like, oh, this is what I want. This is the kind of wedding I had. Like he proposed, and we were like 6 months later we got married at the courthouse. So I've always been like, oh, I want this big wedding, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, that's not what's important to me. Right. None of that's important to me. Right. I just want to have this union with you and our girls. Well, girls, you know.
You know what? That's so good. I'm glad that you're saying that because, I mean, and to the, you know, the women that's out there that's watching, or the young ladies who are single and stuff like that, is just that, I mean, you have to know what you want. It can't, like, if there's a guy who's saying that he won't marry you, and you know that it's not what you want, and you're not willing to wait, it's like, I'm here to say, like, don't do it. You know who you are, know what you want, and move on. And if he wants you, he's gonna.
Exactly.
Because if you,
yes.
Now if you would have been like, I'm good, okay, Tony. He would.
I didn't really believe him. Right. I mean, he told me that, but that's the whole point. Like,
but you weren't naive.
I wasn't. No,
you weren't naive.
No. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm just gonna be, whatever for the rest of his life. Like, I knew I was secure enough in what we had, and I felt his energy, and I knew we would get there eventually one day. That's just what I felt. I never felt that I needed to tell him that, because for what? Like, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, I think that was smart. I think that was smart, because I think more people could find themselves, right. You want that, and that's understandable. Like, in terms of you want marriage as a woman, maybe, right, and the dude might not be ready for that, or so he say, or really in that moment he not, right. But that doesn't mean that he won't grow. Or that he won't say at some point, you know what,
But why isn't he ready though?
Well, I think a lot of it,
what would make him not ready for the marriage?
Because I know in myself, I can't speak for everybody, but what I can say in the black community, particularly in impoverished black communities, you just ain't seeing marriage enough, and I know that played a factor in and then in poor communities, one of the ways you validate yourself. Is through how many women you have. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of testament to your man. And we grow up with those. That's our image of a man. Like, multiple, like, that's what you see. So the concept of marriage for you is like, that's just one woman, like, and forever, right? So that becomes it becomes daunting and scary to a young man. You feel me? Based on how he's conditioned, particularly to young men that may not necessarily have any strong spiritual or religious foundation too. Right. Again, that's what we dealing with a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? That's how I came up. Not that I didn't have a relationship with God, but it just wasn't. Everything wasn't so formalized like that. So I knew that's why I never looked at marriage.
So you're basically, is that what's keeping the foundation? Like, at the end of the day, that maybe that this isn't, when you honor your wife, you're honoring God. Like,
yeah, that helps. That helps. That helps.
But do you think it has anything to do with what you had in your household growing up? Sometimes I always wonder that.
Yeah, I'm saying my parents weren't married.
Yeah, my parents were. So it's kind of like, I wonder if that ever plays a part.
I think it plays a huge part, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen broken marriages all around me, and I would say, and I've said it before, like, if it was for me, looking at, the women and men that I was around, I wouldn't have gotten married. But my grandfather, I saw how he loved our family, even if there was all this brokenness down generations passed on to kids. I looked at him and I was like, I like that. And that's the type of man that I wanted. Sure. And I believe God gave me that. Like, he gave me the heart almost of my grandfather, this man who wanted to take care of his family. But before I met my husband, I was good. I was so good with myself. And I think that's important. Like, as a woman, like, you have to be good with yourself. So look, we're going to play a little flash round real fast, because we got a couple of more minutes before we... This is good. Like, I wanted to keep, because I believe that it's allowing a lot of people to be healed, just by even sharing this information, and allowing them to be more successful in their career, and, as a person, as a man, and as a wife. But look, so what, flash round, what's Tony's favorite color?
Black.
She's right. What's her favorite color?
Purple.
What's her favorite song?
Today?
Today she changed.
I don't even know if I can answer that.
You can't answer that.
That's a big. She in a lot of music though. A favorite song.
Oh, favorite movie.
Titanic.
Is it Titanic?
That's one of them. Yeah.
That's one of them. Oh, okay. What's Tony's?
The Godfather.
That's a fact.
Now we got people behind the camera talking about it.
That's a fact.
Oh, okay. So, what does Tony want to do in the next 5 years?
He wants to go, like, his dream is to speak at colleges, get pushed to the schools. He does a lot of that now on his own, but we're trying to get him on a little U.S. tour, get him in those schools with the books, people buying the books, and really even maybe lecturing at schools about mass incarceration. That's really a big topic. I know my man.
Yeah. So, if there was anywhere that Jessica wanted to go for on vacation,
he knows this answer.
Turks and Caicos. That's
so when is he taking you?
That's I'm trying.
We working on
it. Hopefully, honestly, I would love to hopefully do that in April. Hopefully. For our anniversary. So we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, man, we'll see.
So do you guys date each other?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I think probably not as much as we probably want to. I think with the babies, it's hard. You know, when you got two, it's hard to get a sitter that wants to watch two kids at one time. But other than that, I think we do. And I think that's very important to still date each other. We were just having a discussion about, you know, because right now we parents, we raising our kids, we taking care of our household, we doing our career stuff. But at the end of the day, in 20 years, I still want to be with this man, and I want to still have that foundation that we started with in the beginning. And so I think that we need to still date each other, love each other, laugh with each other, just me and him. So I think we try to definitely take some time away to do that. And we have amazing sitters who step in so that we can
get trust.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can't just call on anybody. Yeah.
That's important, you know.
Yeah.
It's the most important.
Yeah.
And I'll be a little scared to babysit his kids because he look like he'll cut you.
Yeah,
and they're girls and stuff too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all did y'all have fun?
I did.
I had fun.
I had a lot of fun.
This was really, really good. Yeah. I mean, you guys are definitely a power couple. You guys are definitely impacting those who are around you because people are telling you, like, I love what you do. I love what you have. I love your support system. I love how you do it. So keep doing it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean, I'm just telling you something that I'm talking to the choir. You know, I'm directing the choir right now because y'all already know, you know, that this is what's happening and going on. You guys, I hope that you were blessed on today. I hope that you got some great information from Tony Lewis and Jessica Lewis, this powerful couple right here. They're doing great things. Make sure, how can they follow you on social media?
Mr. Tony Lewis Jr., Instagram and Twitter. Tony Lewis on Facebook. And TonyLewisJr.com.
And just ask anybody in the heart of DC who is Tony Lewis, they'll point you right to him. And Miss Jessica, how can they follow you?
Instagram, simply just 120, and then hashtag Simply Delicioso if you want to find some pictures of some good food.
That's right.
I'm gonna have to taste that food. You don't have to I need some recipes because I'm cooking the same thing. You guys, I love you guys. Make sure you put your comments below. Make sure you share with somebody because you might save a marriage, you might save a life, but you also might build a community by sharing this information. All right, so you guys, peace out. Follow me at I am Sha'Meca Latai on all social media outlets and on my website IamSha'MecaLatai.com. Subscribe and stay connected. Be blessed.